Hello everyone, this is Aaron Value. I'm going to be giving you a deck profile on 8 Standby Spider-Man. Doing this deck profile to basically celebrate the release of Spider-Man Brand New Day. As of recording this video, I actually will be watching the video, watching the movie. I'll be watching the movie today, later on in the afternoon. So I figured, hey, like this is perfect timing to do a deck profile on Spider-Man. He's easily my number one favorite hero in comics. Let's go ahead and get this video started. Without further ado, 4 copies of the the Spider-Man Brainstormer. This card particularly is in the Disney 100 set. Unfortunately, this is only in Japanese. Because we do have Marvel in English. So I highly doubt we're ever gonna get this card in English. It's kind of unfortunate because this card is just fantastic. It's a really great card. It solves a lot of issues in Marvel, particularly with paying stock, because a lot of good Marvel cards in the sets between volumes 1 up to 3. There's a lot of cards that pay stock, so like this card really pays dividends when you play it. So basically, what it does is your middle character on your center stage gets 500 power, and then Brainstorm for basically a Brainstorm 4 for each climax you hit, salvage a character. In addition, if you hit a copy of this card when you brainstorm, you take a copy of this and put it at the bottom of your stock. So if you end up hitting the same copy of this card when you brainstorm, basically the brainstorm you brainstorm for free, which is awesome. So being able to brainstorm for 0 cost potentially is absolutely phenomenal and helps you in the long run when you're playing, especially up to if you need to like save that stock for level 1, 2, or level 3. So yeah, absolutely amazing card. But yeah. So now moving on to the Spider-Man JC. So what this does is when you play this from your hand, if all your characters are Marvel, choose one of your characters, including itself, give it 2,000 power until end of turn. Then choose one of your opponent's characters, and then give it the ability until end of turn that they cannot return that character to their hand or move it to another position. And then, as I mentioned earlier, it's a pay one. Send this card to waiting room to when your other Marvel character gets front attacked, you JC where you basically bounce that character that's getting front attacked. You bounce it back to your hand. So if you need to bounce back a character that you might need for another turn, if you know they're going to lose combat, you use this card. And then every now and then, if the freezing a character, if it matters, depending what your matchup is, if they need to like send a character to not so much the memory, but if they need to bounce back a character or if they're planning on moving it or something, you can lock that character to make sure that they stay in place and you're able to get rid of that character. So overall, very fantastic card. So next is 2 copies of the Iron Man. So what this is discard a card, top check, and salvage a character based on the level of the card that revealed on top of deck. So this is another card just like the Brainstorm Spider-Man. This is also in D100, another card that we're unfortunately probably never going to get. Very great card, just for filter and getting, just a great utility card to be able to filter out cards you don't need in your hand, especially because you're playing standby. So this is a key card where you're going to play this to get rid of like your level 1s, level 2s to at level 0 try to like stand by them early out so that way you establish your board as fast as possible. So next is the Ultimate Spider-Man. This is in volume 2. So this card is when you play it from your hand, you actually what it does is when you play it from your hand or when it goes from stage to waiting room, you can discard a Marvel character to draw a card. And then second ability is act effect, pay 1, send this to waiting room. Look up to 4 cards from top of your deck. Add a level 1 or higher card amongst those 4. Put it to your hand and dump the rest. So this card is really good for just kind of like the Iron Man. It lets you filter out like your standby targets for like level 1s, level 2s, even like level 3s when you get to level 2. And in addition to that too, with the act effect, this lets you grab the event, the Doctor Strange event. This is basically a refresh counter, so being able to dig out for this card is also really nice. So moving on to the not 2 copies, 3 copies of the Wolverine Ricky. So reason why I play this card is because of the twin drive, because this twin drive is for free. The catch though is because you twin drive for free, the second card you hit on the trigger check will go to your waiting room. So this is really good for whenever you attack and do the twin drive. If you end up on your second trigger, if you end up hitting any of your standby climaxes on trigger, basically this won't get stuck in your stock. This will actually go into your waiting room. So it'll allow you to be able to put back as many climaxes as you can in waiting room when you're ready to like get ready for deck refresh and all that. And also playing Rickies, search Rickies are always staples. They're always good to have. So overall, because he has the twin drive though, it makes it a very good fit for standby. Next is 2 copies of the Venom. So what this does is when you attack with this card, you can pay the cost, which is pay one, discard a card. Then choose one Marvel character in your waiting room, add it back to your hand. Choose another Marvel character, so you can't choose itself. So choose another Marvel character. It gets the ability when you attack with that card. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Choose one of them, put it back on your top of your deck, and then the other one goes to the waiting room. So this lets you kind of like filter out cards from top of deck, try to increase your chances of hitting standby to establish your board, and whatever it is that you might potentially need. Overall, very good card. In testing, I haven't used it too much. I might need to test it out a little bit more. I've been kind of like, I'm kind of been 50-50 on it. Not downing this card. It's very good. It's just that I've been more so, I guess, kind of like focused and prioritized playing between the Wolverine, the Iron Man, and Ultimate Spider-Man. So I've been kind of been focused on playing those cards. But I would say as of now, I think it's fine at 2. I got to continue playing it to make sure I justified into continue playing this. So moving on is the Doctor Strange. This is just a climax swapper, and then basically what it does for its first effect is it's an anti-standby effect where when you play from your hand, choose one of your opponent's characters that's in the backstage. If that character is a level higher than your opponent's level, they can't stand that character um, during their next stand phase. So basically, during their turn, you basically freeze one of their standby targets, so that way they can't use it for that turn. So this is more of a niche effect. That's kind of like if you're playing, if whether it's you're playing against a 8 standby deck or just anything that plays standby in general, like that's kind of like the purpose of that effect. So next is the Iron Man. This is just a climax swapper. This basically is just a pay one, search your deck for a climax. Then when you do that, take a climax in your hand and put it back. So usually these types of types of cards with this type of card profile are usually really good as one-ofs. I play something like this in Chainsaw Man and as well as in Nikkei. So these types of cards, again, like I mentioned, always good as a one-of. Next is the Iron Man and War Machine. This card is a stock charge. So when you play from your hand, choose a card from your hand and put in your stock. And when it attacks, pay one to twin drive. So this is kind of similar like with Wolverine. This is just a you play twin drive to be able to increase your chances of hitting standby. And the stock charge, if you have enough cards in hand, if you're plussing enough, you can just use this to be able to like put out a stock to be able to increase, put out a stock that you might potentially need to be able to play. Like let's say, well, if you want to use it for a brainstorm, use it for the Iron Man and War Machine, or you can use it to play. Particularly, like you could, like let's say at like level 0, if you're needing to like hard play this from your hand, the level 1 Spider-Man, this can help you stock charge to be able to at least guarantee you play 1 copy of this at least, in case that you end up having this card in your hand and you're not able to like discard it or something like that to be able to play it out with standby. So. This is nice as a tech one-of. So, all right. Next for level 1s, we don't play too many level 1s because in standby you're really more so focusing at level 1. You're more so focusing on getting out level 2s early at level 1. So we're playing 2 copies of the Ghost Spider. So what she does is when you play her on stage, if you have another Marvel character, she gets 2,000 power for the until the end of the turn. Then when she attacks, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. You can choose up to 2 of them, rearrange them in any order, and then put the rest in your waiting room. So this card's really good at filtering out your standby climaxes, filtering out standby targets and all that. So this is really good at rearranging and as well as not only just rearranging the top 2 cards, but as well as being able to setting up your standby as well. Basically setting up your standby targets to when the time comes when you hit standby, you're able to get those targets onto your board. All right, next is the 1/1 Spider-Man. This card is the climax combo with this Spider-Man standby climax. So what it does is when this card attacks, if If that standby climax is in your climax area and you have three or more other Marvel characters, you can basically salvage any Marvel character from your waiting room, add it to your hand, and then until the end of the opponent's next turn, this card gets the ability to pay one at the beginning of your opponent's attack when you pay cost. Choose one of your other Marvel characters and this card itself, and then exchange them as standing so that basically they'll switch places with each other. So the key strategy at level one, what you're trying to do is with this card, when you play standby, you're gonna bring out the 2/2 Spider-Man. Because this card basically gets 1,000 power for each of your other Marvel characters. And then when he direct attacks, reveal the top card. If it's a Marvel character, add it to your hand. So the strategy is bring this out early when you play the level one Spider-Man combo. Then potentially, if you end up, let's say you hit standby again at some point when you're attacking during your turn, you bring out this 2/1 Spider-Man. And what this does is gives all your Marvel characters global 1,000 power. And then during the attack phase, when your character moves to another position, the two characters that move get the following, they get two abilities. Um, Pretty much the character facing actually let me rephrase this. So two things happen. So the two characters that move, they get the ability that the character that's facing those two. So basically, for example, you move this Spider-Man, and you move this Spider-Man. So basically, these two Spider-Man are going to get the ability that when your opponent is facing these two characters, they have to front into it. So they cannot side attack. So when they're facing these two characters, they're more likely going to be losing against those characters because they're going to be too big for them. So you're guaranteed winning these lanes, and then when you do, they also have the ability, um, when their battle opponent is reversed, reveal the top card. If that card is level 2 or higher, put it into your stock. So not only are you winning both lanes with the Spider-Man giving those two abilities, you're also getting free stock. And you're also going to be able to have open lanes to deal more damage. So that's basically the key strategy at level 1 when you're playing 8 standby Spider-Man is set up the Spider-Man, play the standby, bring out this 2/2 Spider-Man, then hope to hit standby later on to get out this Spider-Man. So that way you're able to switch out with between this Spider-Man and the level 2. Then force your opponent to crash into those Spider-Man. So that way you open up lanes. You can attack with this Spider-Man. Direct attack, top check to potentially add a Marvel character to your hand. So you start plussing. And then you basically will have a lot of stock in addition to having a lot of hand to be able to set yourself up perfectly for your Miles Morales finisher. So I kind of got a little bit ahead of myself, but I figured I kind of get straight to the point and kind of explain the key strategy when you're playing this deck. It's basically establishing board with the 1/1 Spider-Man, the 2/2 Spider-Man, and the 2/1 Spider-Man. Because essentially you're going to try to sit on these three cards as much as you can. All right, so that's pretty much the key strategy of level 1. So moving on to level 2s, the only one I'll probably basically explain, since I already kind of explained the 2/2 Spider-Man and the 2/1 Spider-Man. Um, the other level 2 that I play is the Black Widow 2/1 2K assist. So basically, I'm just playing this just to be able to boost my level 3s, particularly the Miles Morales finisher. That's kind of the only reason why I'm playing this card. So, and then also not only that, the third effect is also kind of nice to have to be able to like being able to on reverse look at the top card and be able to kind of like either leave it there, or mill it for just for information. So that's kind of the reason why I play this card. Um, Basically, and then I only play one copy of the Doctor Strange Free Fresh event. So kind of self-explanatory. Free Fresh counter is always good to have. So main reason why I'm playing this card. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, I can get this card with the Ultimate Spider-Man. So next, I'm playing um, two copies of the Spider-Man counter. This is just a memory kick. So this is just basically to keep and protect your board, and just pretty much just to keep establishing, keeping maintaining board and all that. So that's the main reason why you play this set too. All right, and the next for level threes, we're playing two copies of the Captain Marvel early play. Basically, this is just a stock healer, so you discard a card to heal from top card from clock to stock, so it comes out for one stock basically. And just overall, this is just a good card in general. So hence why I'm playing it at two. So next is the main finisher. This is I'm playing four copies of the Miles Morales. So what he does is if all your characters are Marvel characters, which that's the whole deck, this card gets 1500 power, and then the ability you can pay one at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase. When you pay the cost, choose one of your other characters in this card, exchange them as standing. So you swap places with another character with this card. So this basically has the same effect as this 1/1 Spider-Man, basically. But the main difference is this Spider-Man can only get that ability during Climax combo when you play it. This card already has that effect built into it. So you can do this at any point in time during the opponent's attack phase. Also heals on play. And then his Climax combo is off of the Gang War. When you attack with this card, if you have Gang War, discard a card. If you have two or more other Marvel characters, deal 2 damage. So this condition is super easy to meet. Dealing 2 damage is always it's pretty standard for most finishers in Weiss Schwarz. So I mean, for discarding a card to deal 2 is really good. So usually you'll have sometimes like deal 2 damage for like pay 2 ditch 1 or something like that. Sometimes you'll notice like some finishers that pay a heavy cost just to deal 2. But the fact that Miles Morales only has to discard 1 card just to deal 2 is really good. So that's the main key reason why you play this card. As far as like when it comes to finishers, especially on standby, particularly in Marvel, like it's basically pretty much your best standby finisher in the set. So, all right, next is one copy of the Web Slinger Spider-Man. This is from Volume 2. The key reason why you play this card is for the third effect. His third effect is Act Pay 1. He gets 1,000 power and the ability. When you reverse the character, you can send that character to the top of your opponent's deck. So basically, that effect is just like Alice from Mike. So what you do is you're going to get enough power boost, especially like when you build up enough stock with between when you're playing your your 2/2, your 2/1, and your 1/1 Spider-Man board at level 1 up to level 3. By that point, you should be building up enough stock to be able to, like, if you need to, you can just use the third effect, keep paying 1 stock to just give it 1,000 power. And it should be more than enough to be able to reverse something, stack the top of their deck, and then you can go attack with Miles Morales, ditch 1 to deal 2. You're already guaranteeing 1. So you're increasing your chances to guarantee that the deal 2 sticks. So that's the main key reason why you just play the Spider-Man. So lastly is the 3/2 Thanos stock swap. So this is kind of just self-explanatory. Stock swap is always good to have. So that's kind of the main reason why I'm playing this as a one-of. So if you have the ability to stock swap and if it's going to be valuable against your opponent if they have stock compression and their stock is clean, you're definitely going to play this. And in addition to that, because you have the 2/1 Spider-Man, if you're building up enough stock, like paying that stock swap is not going to be difficult to do. So, and obviously it's 8 standby. You have eight standby climaxes. So yeah, so that's pretty much it with the deck profile. Overall, I could say in testing, overall it's worked really well. Pre Volume 3, it was very difficult to play 8 standby Spider-Man because the level 0 Spider-Man standby combo was not very good because the level 0 outside of the climax combo didn't really do anything. So basically, pre-volume 3, Miles Morales was the one that really kind of just like carried basically carried standby Marvel basically. So thankfully with volume 3, we got this 1/1 Spider-Man. It really fixed a lot of problems with 8 standby. And yeah, so like especially like this card as well. Between these two cards is what really makes this deck work really well. So and also makes this also in addition to like makes this card a lot more threatening and being able to take advantage more efficiently compared to without volume 3 basically. So overall, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Hope you guys like this deck profile. I'll most likely do definitely a gameplay demo of this deck. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.